Kodal Minerals is in the hot space of lithium. It trades on the London AIM market and it has exploration and mine development underway. But also it owns West African gold assets at various stages of development. We'll get into the subject of that in just a minute, but I want to start off on the lithium part of the project. And the company has recently raised £3 million and currently has a market capitalisation of 48 million. Bernard Aylward is Chief Executive. He joins us here in the studio. Good to talk to you. Thanks indeed for giving us some of your time in London. Look, I want to begin first of all, as I said, on the lithium side of the business, which is if you open the website, that's really what hits you. Explain more about, well, I guess one, why lithium, and two, why Mali, which is where you are?
So you're right. Our focus is lithium. Open our website and it's all about the lithium. We're big believers in the future of lithium, in the future of battery metals. Part of that process of changing the global climate push in lithium's a key part of that. We think there's a huge future market. We got involved in the project in 2016, and your question as to why Mali, we were in Mali for gold, typical Birimian gold exploration, and came across some fantastic projects which we were able to acquire at a cheap price, defined outcropping mineralisation, were able to move quickly to drilling. And Mali, in my view, as a jurisdiction, is a place where you're confident that you can move from discovery to development to permitting to actual operation. And it's a well progressed path, and I think it's a great opportunity for us.
Okay, let's introduce the asset. It's Bougouni, is that right?
Bougouni Lithium Project, that's right.
And it's hard rock.
Hard rock.
Is that significant?
It's significant because basically lithium currently is sourced from two types: brine operations, which are evaporation of enriched fluids, predominantly South America, or hard rock, which is a typical open pit or conventional mining, simple separation, producing a concentrate, which is then processed by refiners. For me, the open pit is much more simple. The process of producing the concentrate is well understood, and it's a pretty cheap way to operate.
And what's the progress so far? As I said at the top, you raised 3 million. That clearly will take you some further forward.
Yep.
Where are you at the moment, though, with them?
Well, to be honest, we're in a fantastic position and quite separate from a lot of other juniors in that we have achieved our environmental permit, we've achieved our mining licence in Mali, so we're fully permitted to develop. We've completed a feasibility study. We have over 21 million tonnes of resource already defined in just 3 of our known prospects. And we took a view early on that the market was hot, and probably we got it a bit wrong in 2021 when worldwide lows and lithium had a fall. But now we're probably seen as a bit pessimistic in some ways. But we've completed our feasibility. We've got a clear path to development and a really good project. So Bougouni, to answer a bit more of your question, it's 350 square kilometres. It's about 200 kilometres south of the capital, Bamako. Bitumen road, good infrastructure, nearby workforce, pro-mining jurisdiction.
What about the competition locally? Is it a really big lithium area?
It is actually, and it's new. There's not a lot. Previously, there's no lithium mining in West Africa in general. 40 kilometres away from us is the Goulamina project, owned by an Australian company called Firefinch. It's a large hard rock lithium project, similar to ours, pegmatite, simple open pit and concentrate operation.
Are they any further on than you are in terms of the...
No, we're about the same. Probably they're further because they're a larger deposit. They've been active a little bit longer. But we still feel we have a chance of actually being in production sooner. We're a bit smaller, perhaps a little bit more nimble.
Yeah, what's the glide path like down to production? Do you have a sort of a provisional date in mind? I'm not going to hold you to this. Let's just say now that we are not going to...
Look, to be clear, it can vary quite significantly because we're assessing a few options, and I think your comment at the opening there about the hot sector of lithium is very true, and I can't really say too much about our immediate plans for production other than to say our feasibility, which we announced in 2020, was based on 2019 costs and based on 2019 sort of view. We're looking to provide an update on that shortly. and following that, moving to an update on how we can move to production.
Let's talk a little bit more about the price of lithium, because when you get a rise in price, more often than not, you're getting more people in the market wanting to take part in that opportunity. How do you see the economic fundamentals develop in demand and supply over the next few years and until you start production? I mean, we have had these record high prices. I guess they can't be sustained unless there is some other factor we don't know about at the moment. What are your thoughts on how the economics of the sector are going to play out?
Well, I guess firstly, obviously, this high lithium price is fantastic and changes markedly the economics of our project as well as many others. I think there's been a lot of analysis on supply and demand, and in my view, the supply side is often over-exaggerated as people move into the sector and to create interest start to claim potential that on further exploration may not develop, but it's hard to comment because there's always room for discovery. In terms of the demand, we're seeing a huge increase, a huge recognition of shortage. Probably an expansion of the supply gap is clear at the moment. As you point out, we are a company who's been involved in lithium since 2016. We have quite a network, quite an understanding of what's going on in the market, we believe, through discussions with various parties. And I would suggest that while, I can't say I think the price will really stick as high as it is at the moment, I really don't see it falling back below 1,000 in the next few years, which traditionally, when we got involved in lithium mid-2016, the long-term view of lithium price had been it would be $600 a tonne as a rule of thumb for spodumene concentrate. Now we're probably seeing an analyst talking more of it sitting over $1,200 a tonne. So we're doubled, and the uptake and use of lithium has been far more than people anticipated.
And of course, this makes it easier, I guess, for you as a company to try and raise money.
Absolutely.
Your $3 million you raised recently, I don't know how easy that was. I guess it wasn't an open door, I'm sure not, but it probably was quite easy. What do you intend to do about raising more money? Because there is still some work to do before you get to where you need to be to start bringing money back onto the profit and loss. So what are your...
Sure. Well, look, raising money is never easy because we have to be clear with the people who are giving us the money of the use of funds and demonstrating a good project. And fortunately, we have a great project, we're in a great sector, and there was a lot of interest, and we scaled back what we were taking. And part of the reason that we're doing that is I think we're quite far advanced with our project, and we've had quite a lot of discussions with parties around working with us towards development. So then the money that we raised is still principally to be used at the Bougouni Lithium project, continuing to focus on our engineering, geotechnical engineering, and finalising our sort of process flow sheet, probably a little bit more metallurgical test work. So funds to be well used, funds to advance the project, but ongoing discussions around the sector, and we hope that we're making some good progress towards development.
When you raised that money, you did say it would be for the lithium project, but I do know that Kodal has a portfolio of other metals, hasn't it, or projects that are underway, gold, obviously. Yep. What do you want to talk about those? Because, I mean, they're part of the portfolio, but I don't get the impression that you're majoring on that part of the business at the moment.
Look, I guess the shareholders who've been with us for a long time know that, I love our gold projects. We've got a great project, Fatu, which we acquired early last year, historically explored, historically had a resource. We think we can do a lot better on that project. We've done one round of drilling, had some good results, doing some geochemical work. It's more low tenor stuff, but we're continuing to advance that project. Our project in Côte d'Ivoire, the main one, Naylor, again, drilled, excellent intersections, looking to do some follow-up drilling, potential to move to resource there. Both of those are really good quality gold projects, and I think we can do a lot of work with those. We do think, and one of your earlier questions alluding to, how do I see the price for lithium? Our focus is to get into the market as quickly as possible and take advantage of the current high price. And so, yes, excellent gold projects. Again, you know, as a company, I think we're doing the right thing. We're advancing them, we're working them. But again, we've had approaches and discussions about potential to create some value for those projects. And that's an opportunity. I feel they're a little bit lost in us. You know, I know other people like them, other people talk to me about them. And we'll see what we can do with those projects.
We'll see what comes down the pipe in terms of news on that front.
Yep.
I want to bring up a share price because I think it's the right time to talk about this.
Yep.
What is in the share price at current levels? As I said, the market cap about 48 million on the AIM market at the moment. You mentioned a couple of interesting things. I mean, we're talking record high lithium prices at the moment, clearly is something which is important. You've got gold projects underway, but you also mentioned Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, and Mali. We know both of those they're not the best mining jurisdictions in the world. What does this price represent here? Are we pricing in political risk? Are we pricing in the gold project? What is it telling us as an investor?
I think the reflection to the share price is obviously based on a few things. Yes, your comment about West Africa, political risk, possibly jurisdictional risk. We as a company are really happy to be in Mali. I've been in Mali working since 2010, in West Africa since 2007. Found it to be a really good place to work. We've had lots of projects, good relations with the government, and really no issue with maintaining our land and ability to work. Security-wise, again, we're in the south of the country and very stable, very quiet. Macro, of course, Mali has had a coup last year. And again, a bloodless coup, a political change. We don't really want to get involved in the politics of the country. It's more about our ability to work, and what we find is Mali and Côte d'Ivoire, both excellent places to operate. So the share price, again, maybe is factoring political risk and people reading more than perhaps we do.
Perhaps retail investors. A lot of reading between the lines.
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, and look, there's also a bit of a question of Mali's landlocked and how do we get it to the port? Yeah. And that's going to be trucking. But we do have a well-processed route to go. Other issues include buyers. And, you know, looking at that share price graph, you just have to look back to mid-2020 there and COVID, very, you know, all of us completely unexpected. The lithium price crashed. The market in general crashed. And then you look from 2021, quite a strong increase. I'd like to see it obviously going better. I think, like, you know, I'm not an MD if I don't tell you we're undervalued. But we clearly have a good project. We've got a good path to development. I think that the opportunity for us is to continue to make sure our shareholders are aware of the value of our project. And that's the reason we'll be putting out the feasibility update.
So that's what your next bit of news is likely to be.
Yes.
Anything else this year that you're planning?
Yes, there'll be quite a bit more news around Bougouni and that development. We are, as I said, we are continuing to do work on the gold project. So there'll be some news around those, possibly some drilling at Fatu, and possibly more drilling at Bougouni. As I said early on, some of the key things for us at Bougouni is, while our resource is defined on 3 prospects, we drilled over eight targets, all returning good wide intersections of economic mineralisation. As we move to development on what we have, we'll continue to expand and increase the resource and look to define a really long-term mining operation there.
Good. Look forward to hearing more when you bring some more news.
Thanks very much.
Good to catch up with you again next in London. Bernard, thanks indeed for your time. Bernard Aylward, Chief Executive of Kodal Minerals. For more videos from us here at IGTV, join us on Twitter at IGCom, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.